she wanted to be famous. Instead, her name became one of the most disturbing mysteries in American history. And nearly 80 years later, no one knows who did it. Welcome to Unresolved Case Files. This is the story of Elizabeth Short, a young woman whose death shocked Los Angeles, confused investigators, and left behind more questions than answers. It's a case buried under rumors, false confessions, media pressure, and theories that refuse to die. What happened to Elizabeth Short is not just a crime story. It is a reflection of obsession, ambition, and a city desperate for answers. Elizabeth Short was born in 1924 in Boston. Her early life was unstable. Her father disappeared during the Great Depression, later revealed to have staged his own death. Her family struggled, and Elizabeth learned early that security could vanish overnight. She was described as quiet, polite, and hopeful. Friends said she dreamed of becoming an actress. Hollywood represented escape, opportunity, and reinvention. In her late teens, Elizabeth traveled frequently, staying with friends, acquaintances, and sometimes strangers. She had no permanent home. She lived lightly, trusting people freely, believing things would eventually work out. This detail matters because Elizabeth Short was not hiding. She was visible, and that visibility would later work against her. Post-war Los Angeles was a city of extremes, bright lights and dark alleys. Fame and failure existing side by side. Hollywood attracted thousands of young women chasing opportunity. Most never found it. Elizabeth was one of many, but her name would become the one remembered. She stayed in hotels, with friends, and occasionally relied on the kindness of people she barely knew. She frequented bars, cafes, and public places. Despite later rumors, there is no evidence she was involved in crime. She had no arrest record, no known enemies. Which raises the question, if she wasn't hiding from anyone, then who was watching her? On the morning of January 15th, 1947, a woman walking through a quiet residential area of Los Angeles noticed something unusual near a vacant lot. At first, she thought it was a discarded mannequin. Then she realized it was a person. Police arrived quickly. The scene immediately confused investigators. Elizabeth Short had been placed deliberately. The positioning appeared intentional. There were no signs of a struggle at the location itself. This suggested something important. Whatever happened to Elizabeth did not happen there. The Los Angeles Police Department launched one of the largest investigations in its history. Elizabeth was identified quickly through fingerprints. The press moved even faster. Within hours, reporters were printing her name, her photo, and details of her private life. Many of those details were exaggerated or completely false. The media labeled her the Black Dahlia, a nickname that stuck. Investigators faced immediate problems. There were no witnesses, no clear timeline, no confirmed location where the crime occurred, and no obvious suspect. As the case gained national attention, something strange happened. People began confessing. Men from across the country contacted police claiming responsibility. Some provided elaborate stories. Others offered vague admissions. None could be verified. Investigators were forced to chase dozens of false leads while public pressure mounted. Each confession wasted time. Each headline distorted the truth. Elizabeth Short became a symbol rather than a person. Then came the letters. Someone claiming responsibility began sending messages to newspapers and police. They included personal items belonging to Elizabeth. The tone was calm, mocking, and controlled. The sender demonstrated knowledge of the case that had not been released publicly. This shifted the investigation. Now, police believed the person responsible might be watching the coverage closely, enjoying the attention. Over the years, dozens of suspects were considered. Doctors, writers, businessmen, those close to her and those who had never met her. Some suspects appeared promising at first. Others were built entirely on rumor. One common issue kept appearing. Evidence was circumstantial. Witness statements contradicted each other. Memories changed over time. As years passed, witnesses died, records were lost, and the case grew colder. The Black Dahlia case has inspired countless theories. Some believe it was a crime of obsession. Others think it was someone seeking notoriety. Some believe multiple people were involved. There are theories involving Hollywood insiders, theories involving medical knowledge, and theories involving people who inserted themselves into the investigation. none have been proven. Every theory answers one question and creates 5 more. One of the most damaging elements of the case was the media coverage. Elizabeth's image was shaped by headlines, not facts. Her personal life was sensationalized. Rumors were printed as truth. This had consequences. Witnesses became unreliable. False tips overwhelmed investigators. The real details were buried under noise. Elizabeth Short stopped being a victim. She became a story. So why has the Black Dahlia case never been solved? There was no confirmed crime scene, no reliable timeline, no definitive forensic match. Technology at the time was limited. DNA analysis did not exist. Record-keeping was inconsistent. And perhaps most importantly, too many people wanted to be part of the story. Lost in the mystery is the person Elizabeth Short actually was. A young woman with plans, with uncertainty, with hope. She was not the myth created by newspapers. She was someone trying to build a future in a difficult city. Her case reminds us how easily truth can be distorted, how quickly a person can become a headline. Nearly 8 decades later, the Black Dahlia case remains open. Files sit in archives. Theories continue to circulate. New books claim new answers. But no arrest has ever been made. The mystery endures because it exists at the intersection of truth and myth, and because some questions were never answered in time. If you found this case unsettling, you're not alone. Stories like this remain unresolved, not because no one cared, but because answers slipped away. If you want more real cases told with facts, restraint, and unanswered questions, like and subscribe to Unresolved Case Files. Because some stories do not end. They wait.